Hi guys, how are you? This is Josh. Welcome back to our GH Livestream room. Today I'm gonna to recommend you our GH Fast Giant Dipping Powder Kit, the GH642. And this kit is with the Nude Classic Beautiful Kit. So now here's our 108 colors, from the light to the dark, and with the glitter colors. The highlights of our Fast Giant Dipping Powder is saving your time. No matter what temperatures in room, it could be dried within 30 seconds. And it's super easy to apply. And today we are going to show you these colors, these 6 colors. The beautiful and classic nude color, the item number G642. So let's go for details. So when you first got our kit, you will find it's the PVC package, and on the top is our GH logos there. And turn to this side, you'll find here's the 4 pieces dip glue and 6 pieces Fast Giant Dipping Powder. For our powder, it's the new formula, and it's the Fast Giant system. So for our Fast Giant system, it's a good highlights here. The powder could be dried within 30 seconds, and no matter 0 degrees centigrade or up to 50 degrees centigrade. So, and the top coat is super shiny. So here's our highlights. Turn to this side, you'll find our item number here, G642. And it's including 6 pieces Fast Giant Dipping Powder and 4 pieces dip glue, including the base, activator, top, and brush saver. And turn to this side, it's our Fast Giant system. It's including some information of products and the ingredients. And here's our factory name, the address, tell, and the website. So now I'm going to open it. So when you first open the kit, you'll find here with the one instruction. You can read this instruction, and you can scan the QR code here. You could got our after sales service. And here's the tutorials for how to do the glitter and the solid color. You can follow our tutorial step by step. And turn to this side, it's our French powder tutorials. You could use our French kit. We got another kit. You could use it to make the French now. So actually you can scan the QR code here or here. That you'll find the page with some information, the Facebook and the YouTube link. So after you joined our Facebook group, you'll find here the GHdip Powder Customer Service group. You can join here, and we will update more information there. And we got so many nail lovers and our clients to communicate their experience how to use well with our GH Fast Giant Dipping Powder. So you can see some feedbacks here. And some information we will update there. We'll do more tutorials and some designs on that blue. You could join us by scanning the QR code and click the Facebook group. Here or here. And turn to this side, you'll find here's the history of our GH brand. And here is 108 colors, just like the one I show you. We got total 18 kits. You could enter the Amazon.com and search GHdip to get more information. So let's take out the inner kit. So when you first got our kit, you'll find here is 4 pieces to go, and the 6 pieces Fast Giant Dipping Powder. And this item is the nude color, so you'll find several colors here. This is colors. So here first, you'll hold our dip glue here. We got 4 pieces dip glue with 12 milliliter. And the bottle is glass material, so you don't need to worry it easy fall down. And here's our number 1 base. We got the logo print here, the number, and the name of the dipper, and the sizes here. And turn to this side, some information of the product. And the cap is silver cap with the 3D logos on the top. So for our base, it's easy to open. The glue, the flow of the glue is good without the stringy look or caking. But when you got our kit, you'll find if you found the base cannot open, you just put these bottles inside the warm water for around 10 minutes. If still cannot open, just contact with our after-sale service. Do not force to open, please. So here's our number 2, the activator. For the activator, because it's the volatile liquid, so it's easier to disappear with the air. So for this activator, you just need to use one time before the top coat to make the top coat get dry and more shiny. And here's our number 3, the top. You need to use our top for 2 times. And there's a point. When you see the top, the first layer, half dry but still sticky, you're gonna to use another time. And here's our number 4, the brush saver. For the brush saver, when you form your brush get dirty or hard, you can use it. So here's our 4 pieces dipper, and here is our 6 pieces fast giant dipping powder. For our fast giant dipping powder, you could see that with the rainbow printings here, the logo, and the name of the powder, and the sizes. And on the top is the 3D logo, GHdip 2. Under is our bottom sticker. You can see here's the name of this color and the number. So for our jars, as you can see, it's the acrylic material is crystal clear, and this size is ½ ounce. And we are gonna have one in our accessories kit, and here's the 2 ounce, so you can compare it. But you will find from other, you will find the 10 gram, just like that. The size different. Because the mouth of the jars is so important. When you open it, you'll find our products with the inner seal here to avoid leakage. It could be sealed the powder inside the jar. And the mouth of the jar is so big, so once your finger dip in, then you won't have the overflow or spill out problems. So for the colors, later we are gonna to show you these colors by here. The GH026 for this color to tell you how to make the solid color, how to make the deep powder nails by this color. And these 2 colors, we are doing the ombre nails later on the tutorial. And this one is GH032. And the GH035. So we are going to use these colors to tell you how to make our fast giant deep powder well. So just follow us. Later we are going for the details, and we are going to tell you how to make our GH fast giant dipping powder well by our later tutorials. So later we are going to make the design just like that. As you can see, here's the solid and the glitter gradient and the ombre, and there is the golden foil. So we're going to show you how to make this later. So guys, I have a big event for you. We're gonna to launch this kit, the deep powder accessories kit. For this kit, it's just $23 and 50 cents. So you could keep it up with our GHdip.com, and you could search on the Amazon.com later, next week maybe. So we are going to launch this accessories kit when you buy our fast giant dipping powder kit, and with our dip powder accessories kit, you got the super price there. We are going to show you on our Amazon.com for this product. And for this kit, if you want to know what's included inside, you could check back for our last live stream. So later we are going to show you how to make the powders. So let's go. So now our nail technician going to use this color. We already do all preparation. Now we are going to use the balm. For the balm, it should get rid of any oil, and it could be dry your nail beds so that the powder will be more sticky with your nails or adhere to your nails. So we're going to use this color, the 32. Use this color to show you how to make our fast giant dipping powder. Every time shake the powder first and open it. Use the stick or the nail tips to stir the powder to avoid it sticking together. As you can see, it will be smooth. And now we are going to use the number 1 base. For number 1 base, you need to use it to brush it evenly. We're going to apply the first layer from the middle left to the right, slightly, and 45-degree angle, dip into the powder. Stay for seconds. So, and tap off any excess powder. Every time, just use our number 1 base to apply very thin layer from the middle left to the right, and then 45-degree angle to dip into the powders to create the perfect look. And you won't have the problem with the bumpy uneven because you brush the base evenly. Left to the right. Every time follow this step, you will got perfect nail looks. And dip into the powder. Let the powder stay for seconds. Let the powder absorb with the dip glue. And tap off any excess powder every time. Very thin layer. Do not apply too much base, and do not to apply too much near the cuticle. You could apply the base near the cuticle, but not too over. Or then your powder will stick with your cuticle skin. So just remember where your base in, then your powder will stick it with. Apply the base very thin layer from middle left to the right. Don't forget near the cuticle, but not too over. Then 45-degree angle to dip into the powder. Stay for seconds. And tap off. Every time, remember to tap off, because we are going to use the base again to apply another layer. We're going to use this brush. You can find this brush from our dip powder accessories kit, because our dip powder accessories kit with all kind of nail tools you want. So now we are going to apply the second layer. For the second layer, still you need to apply very thin layer on. And every time remember the angle, 45-degree angle to dip into the powder. And don't forget to apply the base to your entire nail. And very thin layer and brush evenly from the middle left to the right. Don't forget the nail edge part. and dip into the powder again. You can repeat this step if you want your powder now looks more thick. But normally our powder, you just need to dip the color powder for 2 times. Then the color will get strong already, get full already. But if you want more thick, you could dip 3 times. But not too over. If the nail too thick, then it's not easy, not good feeling. We normally dip 2 times. It's already full colors. So apply the base every time. Keep the brush flat and brush evenly. From middle left to the right. And 45-degree angle, dip into the powders. And stay for seconds. And every time, just enjoy your dip powder nails when you're making your dip powder nails. You can relax and let your fingers relax. And now we're going to apply the second layer. Don't forget the parts near a little bit cuticle. And dip into the powder. And let the powder absorb with your dipper well. So stay for a second. And take off any excess powder. We're going to use the brush again. And it's already dry because our powder could be dried within 30 seconds. We're going to use the brush again to take off any excess powder. This part is really important. So before you do file, you don't need to apply the activator. You can use this file. For this file, you can find from our dip powder accessories kit too. Because we are gonna have 3 nail files for you to use it with your dip powder nails. So we are gonna to shape it. We need to use this to shape your artificial nails to let your nail looks more good. And don't forget the critical part. So for the nail plates, if you have the nail drill, the machine at home, so you could use the machine. If you don't, you could use the nail file. For this one, we're gonna to fire off any lumpy uneven place. But actually, as you can see, if you follow our tutorial step by step, actually you don't have the bumpy or uneven problem because every time just dip the base evenly. So don't forget the critical part. If you are using the machine, just be careful of the critical area. But don't worry, it won't hurt. And here we are going to fire off and let the nail surface looks more evenly. You follow your the nail shapes to do the filing. Because now we are going to fire off any looks, whether it is bumpy or uneven. Don't forget the critical part, just like that. Our nail technician is fire off any floats from the critical part. If you ignore the critical area, then the powder will be easier to lift in from the critical part. So every time remember, before you do the nails, you need to push back your cuticle and cut off any excess cuticle. And when you're doing your nails, during the nail art, you need to fire off any from the cuticle part. And the powder won't be lifting or cracking from the cuticle. So don't forget every time the parts near the cuticle. So we are going to file off any bumpy uneven place. Later, your nail plate, the nail looks will be more glossy. You could use the machine or the file. Theirs is okay if you don't have the machine in your house. So we're gonna use this just like the buffer. We got both sides. One side is with 100 grit, another side is 180 grit. Now we are going to rough it, because later we are going to apply the activator and the top coat and let them adhere to your nail spectre. Follow this step that you could make your nail surface more evenly. Don't forget the critical part. If you turned your file or buffer just like 45 degrees, then you don't need to worry. It will hurt your cuticle skin. You could use the 100 grit size to do that. Because this file is the diamond shape with the square side and the round side. You could choose the side you want. Actually, you can find these nail tools from our dip powder accessories kit too. It's including all nail tools you want when you're doing your dip powder. So we're going to make the surface more rough and evenly. And more smooth. You could use the 180 grit to smooth up your nail edge with refined shape. And actually, if you buy this, you could use for a long time, because you could use it at your home. You don't want to go out for so long to use the same file with others. So it's really useful. And for this color, you'll find from our G642. For this kit with 4 pieces Nude color kit and 4 pieces Deep Blue. And this color, I think, is the 32. It's super cool. You can smooth up with that with your nail edge. Don't forget the critical part. Now use the brush to remove any dust particles from your nails. And we are going to use the lint-free wipe to remove any dust particles. And this for deep, because you don't want your nail plates with any dust, because later we are going to apply the top coat. Now, here's the point. We are going to use the number 2 activator. Before you filing or the buffering, you don't need to use our activator to let the powder dry, because our new formula, the fresh giant dipping powder, it could be dried within 30 seconds. You don't need to use the activator before you filing or buffing. But now we are going to apply very thin layer on, because later we are going to apply the top coat. Apply the activator to your entire nail, but do not overuse. We are going to use the top now. For the top, we need to apply 2 times. Apply very thin layer and brush evenly every time. Don't forget the nail edge. Left to the right. and brush evenly. Don't forget the nail edge. From the middle, left to the right. And brush evenly. Let the nail look more glossy. Normally, after 3 nails, the first layer, we are gonna to apply the second layer on. The nails, the first layer half dry but still sticky. We are gonna to apply the second layer. Cannot wait it totally dry, please. Half dry but still sticky. Apply the second layer immediately. From the middle, left to the right. Don't forget the nail edge, because you need to brush the nail edge to protect the powder from cracking from the critical nail edge part. To apply the top coat to your entire nail, very thin layer for the first. Later we are going to use the stopwatch. Now, when you see the surface get down a little bit matte, we are going to apply the second layer. And don't worry, this time you need to apply much more than the first layer and brush evenly every time. Then your nails won't look lumpy. So we are now using the stopwatch. Normally, when you're using our dip glue with our fast drying dipping powder, the top coats could be dried within 1 minute. For this, we are testing the drying speed for you. For you watching this tutorial, I want to give you some advice. First, you need to wash your hand and push back your cuticle, cut off any cuticle dead skin, and we're gonna to remove the shine from your natural nails, and then do the apply of the base. Brush evenly. Use 1 time for our activator, and use 2 times for the top coat. For the first layer of the top coat, you need to apply very thin layer when it half dry but still sticky. Then apply another time. Then the top coat will be looks more glossy. So now 1 minute's done. So it can be dried within 1 minute. We are testing whether it dried. And the nail surface looks glossy. Okay, here's our tutorials. How to make our powders with solid look. Later, we are going to show you how to make the design. We are going to choose 2 colors, the 26 and the 35. We are going to do the design. Now, every time shade the powder and use the stick or the nail tips to stir the powder like that, to avoid the powder sticking together. With 1 direction to stir the powder. Okay. So now we already do all preparation before we show you on this tutorial. Now we are going to use the bomb prepads. You will find these bomb prepads from our dip powder accessories kit too. And for these bomb prepads, if you got 1 balm or primer in your house, you can use that. Don't worry. Because the balm could be dry your nail bed. Now we are going to use the base. Apply the base very thin layer. Brush evenly. Keep your brush flat. And 45-degree angle, dip into the powder. And tap off. So, every time remember, when you apply the base, just apply very thin layer and brush evenly. And dip into the powder. Stay for a second. It's super easy to use if you are following with our tutorial. Going to apply very thin layer. Because another fingers, we are going to use another color and do the design for you. Very thin layer. And then 45-degree angle, dip into the powder. Stay for a second. Okay. Use this brush to take off any excess powder. I'm going to apply another layer on, the second layer. From the middle, left to the right. Every time remember, don't forget the part near the cuticle. And brush evenly. Then dip into the powder. Let the powder stay for a second. Let the powder more stay on your nails. So every time when you apply the base, do not brush it out of your cuticle, or you don't feel comfortable and the powder will stick it with that area. So every time just apply very thin layer to your entire nail. Now we are going to use the base again for the second layer. The middle, left to the right. And don't forget the part near the critical area. And dip into the powder. 45-degree angle, let the powder absorb with your dip glue well. And take off any excess. Gonna use the brush again to take off any powders. We're going to use another colors. Apply very thin layer on the first. We're going to dip into the powder. Stay for a second. And take off. Because this time we are going to use two colors for show you how to make the design. So, next, apply another layer on. Very thin layer, brush evenly. And dip into the powder. Stay for a second. Brush off any excess powder. For the next, we are going to use the brush to do the ombre. So guys, for this now, we are going to show you how to do the ombre by our fast gel and dipping powder. To apply the base first, but you need to apply the base evenly. Gonna use the brush and sprinkle the powders on your nails. Just like that. Tap, tap, tap. Sprinkle the powders on the nails with two different kinds of powders. The color is two different. And use the brush to tap off. You need to apply 2 times for the base. We're going to apply the base again. But today we are going to use the one brush and sprinkle the powders on your nail. And use apply 2 colors. And tap, 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 just like that. Let it absorb 4 seconds. And then tap off. And use the brush to tap off any excess powder. For our powder, because it's the fresh giant dipping powder, you don't need to use the activator before you're filing. If you have the machine in your house, the nail gel, you're going to use the machine. Because our powder could be dried within 30 seconds, now we are going to the buffer and filing. You can use the nail gel to file off any bumpy uneven place. And you need to, don't worry, don't forget the critical area. And when you file off the one which the ombre part, the ombre nails, please make it more slow. As you can see, we are filing off any bumpy uneven place. Because our fast giant dipping powder, it could be dried within 30 seconds by itself. Do not use the activator before you filing or buffing. Cannot overuse our activator or you'll find the problem of cracking. So before you do the filing or buffing, please do not use the activator because our powder, it could be dried within 30 seconds itself. Now we're going to use the file, the nail file, the machine to file off any uneven or bumpy place. But if you don't have the machine, don't worry, you could use the file. For the file, we have 3 different kind of files from our powder accessories kit. So when you buy our powder accessories kit, you'll find all nail tools you want. And now we are going to use the file, just like the buffer block, this one, to make the surface more rough and more smooth. I mean, for this smooth, it looks more evenly. And to smooth up your nail edge. Because when you smooth up your nail edge, after you do all the nail process, that looks more good. Don't forget the critical part. For this file, just like the buffer, you could use for the natural nails to remove the shine, to sand down the large ridges in your natural nails, or grinding the powder nails, the artificial nails, when you're doing the manicure. So we need to use this file. And every time use don't forget the critical area. Because it could smooth up your nail edge. So use this file, you need to use it like that. You can hold your finger, hold your nails like that when you file off the place near your critical part. Because this buffer file, we got both sides, the round side and the square side. So it fixed for all kind of the nail shapes. And do not worry to scratch your skin because it's really soft. So we are going to file off and let the nails look more evenly and smooth up your nail edge. So I'm going to use the brush to remove any dust particles. And every time use the lint-free wipe to deeply to remove any dust from your nail plate. Okay. So now we are going to use the number 2, the activator. Remember, every time you just need to use one time for our activator after you filing and buffing. Very thin layer, apply it to your entire nails. For these 3 fingers, these 3 nails, we are going to apply our top, the number 3, the top. For another 2, we are going to show you how to use the gummy gel to deco. So you need to use our top for 2 times. Apply the first layer evenly and do not apply too much. And don't forget the nail edge every time. From the middle left to the right. And brush evenly. Don't forget the nail edge. When you see the surface get down or matte, we are going to apply another layer on when it's half dry but still sticky. Remember, because our system, the dip system, is different with others, so you need to apply the top coat when you see the first layer half dry but still sticky. Then your nail looks more glossy. Okay, for the next 2, we are going to do the decoration on the nails. First, we are going to use the gummy gel. And the sequins and the gold foil. Use the brush to apply the gummy gel. And brush evenly. Every time, no matter what kind of things you apply on the nail, brush evenly. That your nails looks more good. We are going to apply the gummy gel very thin layer and brush evenly, because later we are going to pick out the gold foil and the sequins to do the decoration. Yes, later you are going to use the UV lamp to cure. Now we are going to use the fan shape brush. This brush just like the fan brush, because we are going to use it to apply some sequins and do the gradient design. So you're gonna use the fan shape brush to apply some sequins to your nails, like gradient. Then your nails looks more gorgeous. And when you find it isn't good, you're going to use the tweezer. And another nail, we are going to use the tweezer to help you. We're going to use the tweezer to apply the gold foil randomly. You just could, just like that, to apply it on. No matter where it is, you could check it. Because the gold foil is so light, you need to use the twixter to help you. So we are going to use the UV lamp for cure 1 minute. Because the gold foil and the sequins are lightweight with the lightweight, so later you don't need to apply the gummy gel again. We're going to apply the gel top coat directly to finish the design. So guys, what do you learn from this today, the tutorial? You could use our powder to do the ombre and do the designs on. And for the steps how to make our powders, you need to follow our tutorial step by step because it's our formula is different with other brands on the market. The system is the fast drying. For the UV lamp, you are gonna cure for around 1 minute to let the gummy gel to let it dry. You could buy these or the gold foil or the sequins from the Amazon.com. Now we're gonna use the gel top coat. For the gel top coat, every time you apply it evenly. And for the gel top coat, later you still need to use the UV lamp too. Apply it evenly. You don't need to do the buffer this time because the gold foil and the sequins are so light. Now we're going to use the UV lamp too for 1 minute. Then our designs will be done. So guys, you will find these powders from our G642 kit, the classic beautiful nude color kit. Actually, for our fast drying dipping powder, we got total 18 kits for above 108 colors. So actually, you could find more colors by enter the Amazon.com. Enter the Amazon.com and search GHdip. So this kit is called, the item number called G642, the Nude Classic Beautiful Kit. And today we are using the 3 colors to do the tutorial. And for some nail tools, you could find from our dip powder accessories kit. If you want to know what's included, you can find our previous live stream. So okay, our designs are already done. As you can see, you can see our designs when you're using with our GH fast drying dipping powders. So guys, so today's tutorial is at the end. We are going to combine this kit, the dip powder accessories kits and our fast drying dipping powder kits. You'll find these kits on our Amazon.com search GHdip soon. So thanks for watching guys, bye.